Hey there. So I'm just going to basically have a go at the writing task today. I'm going to read out the story starter and then I'm going to continue writing on my piece of paper. I'm just going to model kind of my thought process, what kind of things I'm going to try and get into my writing, especially some of the features we've been learning about in Year 5. And then I'm also going to obviously model the mistakes that will happen in my writing and the errors that I make and how I'm going to fix them as I write. So it starts off with this. He held them with his mind. He controlled them. The chairs swirled around him, dancing as if held by invisible strings. He practiced on chairs. However, his powers allowed him to manipulate things far more complex than that. And then it says, can you write a story about the man who can perform magic? So I'm going to start with I want to go down the mysterious side of things. I want to kind of create a sense of mystery. So the last sentence was, he practiced on chairs. However, his powers allowed him to manipulate things far more complex than that. So I'm going to start with a nice kind of his abilities were limitless. That means they never end. He doesn't, and I want to try and convey the idea that he doesn't know how powerful he is with his magic. We don't know who this guy is, but I'm gonna try and develop his character as I start writing. So his abilities were limitless. It was a mystery to him how he had even gained these powers. Now, I like that sentence. I think I'm going to change the word gained for acquired. So I'm using my vocabulary to just up-level that word. His abilities were limitless. It was a mystery to him how he had even acquired these powers. Rhetorical question, I think. What else could he do? Okay. Every single sentence I write, I want to read it through to just always check the flow. Every time I read it through, I might spot something that I don't like, that I want to change. His abilities were limitless. It was a mystery to him how he had even acquired these powers. What else could he do? In his mind. So I want to start my sentences kind of in different ways. So I'm starting this one with a prepositional phrase. Oh goodness me. In his mind, he imagined the endless powers he could have. Now, as I'm writing this, you notice I'm not talking because it's really hard to write and talk at the same time. But I just realized that I've just used imagined and then imagine in the same sentence. So I'm going to continue my writing and then I'll come back to that in a moment. So in his mind, he imagined the endless powers he could have and began to imagine what he could do with them. So let's have a look at these words. Imagined and imagine. Is there another word for imagine that I could think of? Maybe in his mind he visualized. In his mind, he visualized the endless powers he could have and began to imagine what he could do with them. Let's start off with another different sentence starter. On one hand, he could use his powers for good. However, now I want to add a kind of sense of, again, I keep that mystery feel. However, so I'm going to use that connective to start my sentence. However, his limited mind, maybe I want it to be like his small mind, but I didn't want to put small, so maybe I'll come back to that in a moment. However, his limited mind so now I've come to a point where I've started writing a sentence. I wasn't actually sure what I wanted to say, so now it's a really good time for me to just stop, go back to the beginning, read it through again, and see if any more ideas flow. So I'm going to read it from the beginning sentence starter that was provided on ClassDojo, and then I'm going to carry on into mine. He held them with his mind. He controlled them. The chairs swirled around him, dancing as if held by invisible strings. He practiced on chairs. However, his powers allowed him to manipulate things far more complex than that. His abilities were limitless. Now I'm going to add a word here, I think seemingly. His abilities were seemingly limitless. It was a mystery to him. It was a complete mystery to him. So as I'm reading it through again, it's just adding those words and those phrases that really take it to the next level. His abilities were seemingly limitless. It was a complete mystery to him how he'd even acquired these powers. What else could he do? Now I feel like I'm missing something here. I've talked about it was a mystery how he acquired these powers. Here, I think I'm going to add an extra clause to just make this sentence a little bit better. I'm going to come back to this clause in a few moments in the next part of this video. Let me just think about it.